Today we are going to be chatting with Judy Corry, who's a romance author. So it'll be a super fun little chat. Let's hop into the interview. Okay, well, thank you so much, Judy, for joining today and everything. Can you just start out by sharing a little bit about yourself and your books?
So my name is Judy Corry. I have been writing since 2012. And I write mostly young adult and contemporary romance. And that's what I do most of the time. I have 4 kids and I have a husband. And so they keep me really busy too.
Yep.
And so I, started writing during nap time or bedtime. And then I started publishing in 2017.
Oh, cool.
And then kind of took it a little more full time since then. And I've written 16, I have 16 books published. So,
oh, yep.
Yeah.
Cool. Yeah. I'm always seeing updates of like a new book is out and I'm like, oh, that's so exciting. I'm so excited for her. That's awesome. Fun. So what gave you the idea to start writing and also to pursue indie publishing?
So I started writing just because I was like super into reading and I was a stay-at-home mom at the time, and I had 3 kids at that time also, and I wanted something that was for me, and then also maybe a way to help like bring in money too, because that's also why I write. Spoiler alert, I don't know. Anyway,
it's a good bonus, right? You enjoy writing, but make some money too. Perfect.
Yeah. So that's a great thing when that happens. Okay. So yeah, I loved writing because I loved reading. I fell in love with it. And then I want it to be this lifelong thing that I could do. And so I actually did try, like for several years, I wanted to be traditionally published because at the time, like that was the way to be successful, because indie publishing was new back in 2012. And so I didn't know a whole lot about it. And so then my first book was actually published with a publisher, which it doesn't exist anymore. It's like, it was Kindle Press, I went through the Kindle Scout program. So it's kind of like the American Idol of book. And so that's how I started, but I had also started to learn more about indie publishing during that time. And I made some friends who had been really successful in it. And so then that kind of piqued my interest, and so seeing how slow the traditional publishing thing can be, I was like, well, I have this one book coming out, and I'd like to have more out so that if people find me and they like my books, that they can just continue on. And I already have a few more written. And so then I decided to just publish my next book 3 weeks after that first book came out. So
that's exciting.
Yeah. And so then after that, it did well. It did even better than my traditionally published books. And I'm like, okay, I'm just gonna keep going with this. And
that's awesome.
Yeah. And so then 16 books later, here I am. So it's been good.
I love it.
And so I've loved indie publishing, but I'm still open to maybe possibly taking a book or two the traditional route at some other point. So I'm just open, but I love what I've done so far. So
yeah, that's awesome. That's wonderful. Well, I'm very happy that you've been enjoying the process and everything. Super cool to hear your story. What inspires you to write?
Like what inspires my stories or just makes me want to write? Like
I guess you could answer both if you want. Okay. Whichever way you want to take the question.
Okay.
Anything.
Okay. I'll do everything. Whatever comes out is what I'm going to say. Okay. No. So what inspires me to write mostly is it makes me happy. So that's why I like write, because it's like my happy place. And then what inspires my stories, a lot of them, they'll start with characters, and I know they come from all sorts of things. I watch shows, I read books, I listen to music, I live life. So they just come from all over. There's not like one specific thing, but usually since I do write in a series where they're kind of like interconnected. Okay. Yeah. So I do that. And then from there, the characters just kind of grow. And as I get to know the side characters a little more, their story will grow in my head for, the next book. So I don't know. It's just it just comes from wherever it comes, and
Yay.
and then I just run with it. So.
That's perfect. Cool. Okay, wonderful. And then let's see here. What projects are you currently working on? And do you have any that just came out? I think you do, but I'll let you tell about that.
Yeah, so I just had the second book in my Eden Falls Academy that came out September 17th, so pretty recently. So I've been working on, launching that, and so that's been fun. That one's about like a kind of secret relationship between this girl and her brother's best friend. And so
fun.
and it was two brothers best friends, so it's like double the brother interference,
double the trouble.
Yes, that was a lot of fun. And then I have been working on a writing conference that I'm in charge of most recently, but I am slowly kind of getting ready to start in book 3 in that series, which I'm really excited about because I just love those characters and it's fun to hang out with them.
Good. Well, that's exciting. And then the writing conference that you're doing, that's the Writing Gals, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Perfect.
So I'm one of the founding writing gals, and so we have a conference next month, which has been keeping me busy, but I'm excited for it.
Well, do you want to tell a little bit about the conference, and I can share the link as well?
Oh, okay.
With, people in the description.
Sure. Yeah. So it is a writing conference mostly focusing on romance because that's what the writing gals write. But we have, I think, maybe close to 20 presenters and 40 classes just for it. We have them on craft and then also business ones and also just author mindset because it can be stressful and we, sometimes need that. But yeah, lots of different classes on all the subjects you could think you needed. So yeah, it's October 13th through 17th, but the people that sign up, register now, they already have access to 20 of the classes that we had in last year's conference. So and start learning as soon as you're there.
Yay, perfect. Well, we'll have to get people in there. That sounds exciting.
That's fun.
Have you done any anthologies or like book collaborations with other authors by chance?
Yeah, so I did one series that was with like 10 other authors, and that's the Sweetwater High series. And so we each wrote a book based at a high school. It's because it was a young adult series. And so that was fun and did really well, which was also great. And it was just great to be able to kind of use each other's audiences to help grow our audiences.
Cool.
And just build a lot of readers that just loved every book. And then I did a box set last summer. It was the Sweet Kisses box set that I wrote a novella for.
Oh, cool.
So yeah.
So do you recommend that authors do that as a way to build their audience and everything?
Yeah, I think it definitely can be really helpful, especially when you're early in your career, to help, get your name out there and work with other authors and just kind of come together and advertise for each other. And yeah, so I think it's really helpful. It helps me a ton. I don't know if I would continue to do it all the time because it can, mess up your other, schedules, but definitely beneficial.
Okay, perfect. So any tips or tricks for doing that? Like, would you try find someone else who's kind of like trying to create this, or could you do it yourself too?
I would, if you know other authors that write in your genre, I would, maybe put the feelers out there, ask if any of them would be interested in doing this. For the box set that I did, that was specifically to make it to the USA Today bestsellers list. And so we did that, and lots of people want that too. So that's a great way to do it. But yeah, if it's something you want to do, you can message people and ask them if it's something they'd be interested in. If you have enough interest, then maybe get together and
that's cool. Okay, wonderful. I just thought I'd ask that since you've been involved in that and everything. I've just always wondered like how that works out and everything. So
usually we make a Facebook group where we all chat together and put our ideas. So
that's a good idea, actually. A good place. Then you have all of your conversations in one place, and everything is organized, which makes it perfect and a lot easier.
Mhm.
Let's see here. Who are your favorite authors?
Oh, this is tricky. I don't know. I don't know. I haven't like had like a number one favorite in a long time, like that I like binge all their books just because there's so many that I like to read. I enjoy reading Soraya Wilson's books. Jeanette Rallison was one of my like first favorites. I loved hers.
Yep.
She's just funny. They make you happy.
That's awesome.
I don't know. Casey West, but I loved hers too.
Okay.
So yeah, those are some favorites.
Awesome.
Oh, Julianne Donaldson. I love hers. She needs to write more. That's why I haven't been reading hers, because there's only like 2. I'm like, give me more. So
yes, give me more.
So she's probably my real favorite.
Okay, wonderful. Those are great recommendations. I think that's great. I haven't read many of them. I've read a couple of some of those, but I will have to pick up the other ones. And what's a typical writing day look like for you?
So I still have my youngest daughter at home half day, so it's not all day yet, but she goes to kindergarten in the morning, and so I'll try to get writing for a little while in the morning. I have like 2 hours where I can do that, and so I'll do that, and then I'm not always writing the whole time because it's, life is just whatever it is. But I'll try to sit down, write, and then lunch, get my daughter, have lunch. Then I'll try to write again after lunch while she has some screen time, or she plays with one of her friends across the street. So that's nice. And then pick up more kids and try to write again. So I try to fit it in any time that I can throughout the day. But and if I can get like 3 sessions in, I usually get at least 2,000 words. I'm not a super fast writer, but basically it's just, try to fit it in anytime I can.
Right. And since you're a mom and also a writer, do you have any tips for people who are moms and writers, or people that are going to be moms, how they can prep to be good moms, but yet good writers and get their words written?
I think you just need to what I just try to do is just be nice to myself and know that maybe I won't get all the words that I want done, but also make it a priority too, and see if you can work things out with your family. Like when my kids were even younger, my husband and I would have this deal where I got to write every Wednesday night or whatever, just to make sure that I got that in.
Cool.
Or I would get a Saturday once a month just to myself to write. And and then just try to make it a priority. Your house will always get messy again, but I just think that it's important to put it maybe higher up the list if it's something you actually want to do, and then you can clean the house later.
There you go. Perfect. Well, that is all really good advice, I think, to moms and new moms and people who are going to soon have kids at home. So what is the most difficult thing about being a writer for you?
Actually, writing is hard sometimes. Just getting myself to start, that is overwhelming, because I know the start of a book is hard because I have to write another 75 to 90,000 words all again. That's so much work. And then also just starting each day is hard too. Starting with a blank page is hard. If I can start with some of the scene done, it's nice to be able to go back. I'm someone who revises as I go. And so I'll go back and read what I wrote the day before, or have my computer read it to me and listen to it to try to get me back into the scene. And then usually I can, fix a thing here and there and then continue on. And so that helps me. Another difficult thing is just having the time, I guess, that I got 4 kids. They all have busy lives. My husband works an hour away, so he's gone a lot. And so that's just difficult. And accepting my limitations is hard for me, because I have these big dreams and big goals and I want them all to happen right now. And so it's hard to just accept reality and be like, well, that's not that's just not how it's going to be right now.
It's good to, I think, have those where you basically tell yourself, it's good. We're gonna get there. We'll get the goals done, but we need to be kind to ourselves. Kind of like what you said. I need to be kind to myself and realize I'm not gonna be able to maybe get all those goals done right now, but they will get done.
Yes. Eventually, it can happen. So
yes.
Yeah.
That's wonderful. Okay, so since we talked about what the most difficult thing about writing and the writing career is, what is the most precious thing about being a writer? Like something that you absolutely love about it?
So I really just love when I'm like in the zone and the words just flow, and I don't know, the story just kind of like comes alive and does things that maybe I didn't necessarily even plan on, but I'm like, oh, that's just so awesome. I love that.
Yeah.
Another thing that I really love is just the interaction with my readers and hearing that they connected with the book and that they loved it. That's always like super rewarding and fun to have.
Yes, that is just wonderful. I can imagine it's just very touching, you know, like I'm sure you get tons of letters or, you know, and where they related to your story and related to your characters, or maybe had something similar happen in their life or something like that. It's so sweet. I love that. Perfect. Okay. And then what advice would you give to a person wanting to go the indie route with publishing their books?
I would say definitely like get involved in like all the author Facebook groups and learn about it, because there's a lot. It can be a lot and it can be overwhelming. But be okay with, just it's okay to take your time and you don't have to rush through everything, just one step at a time, and you'll get there. Also networking with other authors in your genre. That's been really helpful to me because they have experience and they can, kind of guide you along the way and answer your questions if you're, maybe trying to make decisions, you don't know exactly what to do. So
sure. Yeah,
definitely recommend that.
That's good information.
But yeah, I say go for it too. It's you miss all the shots you don't take. So if it's something you feel you want to do, go ahead and try it.
Awesome. Cool. And then for the people that want to start writing and are beginning writers, what advice would you have for our people who want to write?
So first, read a lot of books in the genre that you want to write in, so you can really get a good handle on what those stories are like and the things you like about them. And then I just start writing. That's the best way to learn and to do it, is just write those first few words and know that they don't have to be perfect, and the story doesn't have to be exactly perfectly right from the beginning. That's why we can revise and change things. And then also I recommend getting beta readers or critique partners that can help you help increase your writing abilities and your ability to tell the story, and just kind of point out things here and there and help you learn a little earlier on in the process.
Sure. Yes, that is all really good information. And thank you for sharing all that. It's really good.
And then also, I guess, listen to podcasts on writing. That helped me a ton. Like the Writing Excuses podcast had tons of information. Writing Gals YouTube channel that has lots of good information.
Perfect. I'll give you guys a shout out.
Yeah. Just learn and going to conferences and just learning.
Oh, that's wonderful. That's cool. Speaking of any conferences, are you going to be going to any others that are in places currently?
So I'm not going to any like in-person ones yet, coming up soon. I'm thinking about going to the Storymakers one, which is in May. Oh, cool. I'm attending the Writing Gals one, of course, but then also the Romance Author Mastermind one. That one is in November, which I'm really excited for because I hear it's amazing.
Oh, cool.
So I'm hoping to learn lots of good things from authors that sell a lot of books. So.
Yes. That's always good. Learn from the people who know how to do it, right? Yes. That's what I love about it. That's great. Perfect. So where can people find you online and your books online?
So my books are all on Amazon. Just type in Judy Corry books and it'll take you to the page. Or you can go, I'm on Instagram. That's probably the place I'm on the most. And so I'm just
Okay.
at Judy Corry. And I have the link tree thing where you can find all the links to all the things. So that's a good place. I'm also on Facebook because I don't know if I'm author Judy Corry on Facebook or not, but type in Judy Corry author and you'll find me.
Sounds good. Sounds good. And then do you have a website too?
Yes, I do. It is currently under construction, so I'm not sure how great it'll look, but it's judycorry.com.
Okay.
JUDYCORRY.com.
Perfect. Wonderful. Well, that's great. I will share all of that in the description box below so people can find you. And thank you so much for coming on today and doing an interview with me. And I absolutely enjoyed it. So thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you for having me. This was fun.